So the course is Jewish Basics and Fundamentals. So it's going to be a little bit, not completely, but we'll try to do a little bit of yeshiva type of study. Yeshiva is the house of study, the traditional way of learning. You see, we don't sit in lines, we don't have desks in front of you. The way of the Jewish learning is more like communal way. And the main thing, the key ingredient for success of study is the involvement of anyone. So if you have a question, you shoot it. Okay? This is about the course. You can define, I want to say Jewish culture, but my wife told me not to use this because it's overused by before. But what is culture? What is culture? That's a question to you. Usually when people think about culture, or Jewish culture, they say, well, you're very right, they say something the opposite. Culture is things that you like to do in your free time. They're definitely not obligatory, right? It's going to a movie, maybe eating, it's dressing up, fashion, very cultural things. This is something extra. Let's say people who are stressed in their day-to-day thing, they can't even bring food, butter, and bread to their table. Culture is something not for them. Maybe some other day, right? That's usually what people think. I believe that culture involves mainly two things. And two things, it's what you believe in, how you act, how you behave, and what you do. That's what you said. That's very straightforward. What also you do. And this is the two things I like to define, like the course we're going to lead, and define Judaism into these two sections. A little bit of Hebrew. Halacha. Everybody heard the term halacha? Very good. This right down here. This is again the password if you need Wi-Fi for this. So, what do you do? Halakha. That's how you write halakha in Hebrew. What is halakha? Jewish laws. Very good. Laws. What else?
It's like fundamental, basic rules of life. I mean, it's what you can eat, what you cannot eat, when you should pray, when you should not pray, and so on. So it's like an order set
Okay.
for your daily life.
Yes. Okay. So it's order for how you should do your life. Very good. How you should order your life. Okay. Good. What else? Huh? Yes. Right. Halakha. Let's look at the Hebrew. What is halakha? How do you say? Hey, who speaks Hebrew here? Who started to work on the program that they sent you on Facebook? Okay, work on it because you need also to speak a little Hebrew till the end of the class. August. Halakha, Hebrew speakers, coming from the root. Halach, holech. Holech is to walk. To walk. Very good. To walk. Why? Why to walk? It's how we walk. What you do. It's very specific. Or you mentioned earlier the word laws. Laws are something, they're written in stone or in the book, right? Halakha. This is what you want. You want to, you said you want to eat, Johanna, right? So you need to bless before. You need, if it's an animal, you need a kosher way of killing the animal, shchita, shlochtim, right? You're not allowed to mix. If it's I don't know what you read. Not all books are permissible, right? Books that are about lust and things that are a bad manner. You shouldn't you shouldn't read them. Movies that are too violent, you shouldn't watch them, right? Halakha, very specific. What you eat, how you sleep, where you go, where you don't go, what you do, what you not do. Laws, both positive and negative. But this is halakha, to walk, where we walk. And then there is Agada. What is Agada? What is Agada? What does this have to do with Judaism?
Things happen.
Things happen.
What? Like what? You ate breakfast this morning?
Wow.
I missed
We
mine.
didn't have time. We had to leave Egypt.
You have to leave it.
Yeah.
Things happen.
Things happen.
More than just things happen. Things happen for us. So, some things are happening that the breakfast you had or didn't have this morning. Not important. But some things are very important. For example, the stories in the Tanakh. Tanakh, the Jewish Bible. Stories in the Tanakh, they're there for a reason. Hashem wrote it in the Torah and gave it to us for us to learn something from it. Okay? That's an example of Agada. Agada, something that you tell. Who tells who? For example, the stories of the Tanakh. Moshe kibel Torah Misnai. There were Yetziat Mitzrayim. We Haggadah Shel Pesach. You said, right? So once a year in the holiday of Pesach, Passover, we do Haggadah Shel Pesach. We tell the story of Pesach. What is that? We're slaves in Egypt. Hashem saved us, and He gave us the Torah in Mount Sinai, and brought us to the land of Israel in order to fulfill the Torah and teach the world how it should look. Okay, that's in short the whole story of the Tanakh. I just gave you the summary of the whole Tanakh. This big of a book, and I told you in one sentence. But that's the story. Haggadah, we tell the story, and not only this. In Jewish way of learning, when you talk about theology, you don't. There are books that are pure theology, and many courses of Judaism, they will start with the book of the Kuzari or the book of Rambam, Moreh Nevuchim, the Guide for the Perplexed. If you heard about this, it's a very familiar one. Maharal. Many books that are more pure theology, but the traditional way of learning in Judaism, even things of faith, ethics, values, behavior. It's by telling a story, by giving a metaphor, by conversation. If you ever saw a passage in the Talmud, Milonim Talmud, 2,000 years ago-ish, all the oral Torah is being written, right? In order not to forget it, because it used to be spoken from mouth to ear, from teacher to student, father to son, like what we said. Eventually, they decided it's not going to work anymore because there are too many trouble in our lives. We have to write down, otherwise we'll forget it. So they started writing the Talmud. But if you ever read a passage from the Talmud, you notice that it's a whole mess there. This one is saying that, and he's arguing that this is right. Are we allowed to eat chicken with milk? Of course not. But then someone who lived in the Galilee, Rabbi Yossi, say no, it is allowed because the Torah says this pasuk, which is okay. And he said, my grandfather, I saw him taking chicken and dipping it in the cheese. And no, he didn't see anything, he didn't understand because he was sick and doctor told him, if you're not going to eat it, you're going to die. So that's why and then a lady comes, open the door of the Beit Midrash, the house of study, and say, all of you know nothing. I saw my great grandmother and she told me not that. It's a whole mess. What's going on there? But that's the way, the traditional way of learning. Now we live in the each one of us have his or her own domain, private domain. You have old houses, locked with at least 2 lockers, and in Sweden you have also 2 doors. I have 2 doors to every place, right? And very privately, we leave our parents between the age of 12 to 23, right? We don't even see them once a year when you need some pocket money. We go back. Can you sponsor my study? Can you? But the traditional way of living was a more tribal. So we lived all this together. So you saw your grandmother and how she made the food. You even notice how your mother and father had their close relationship between each other, not the intimate one, but you saw the behavior. You saw how your older siblings or your aunts and uncles treated their neighbors. You didn't need to learn how to live. Education was there all the time. You didn't need to have a board and you go to the bathroom, first you need to A, B, C. When you go out, you need to wash your hands. 3, you need to say a blessing. 4, you need to flush the toilet. I have a board like this to my children. Don't forget to flush the toilet. Don't forget about the toilet, the picture. But you You don't need all this if you live normal life together. Now, why did they say all that? Because of the root Agada, the Hagid, to tell. It makes learning more fun. It makes it also more practical. You learn what you need to learn. You do because you saw your surrounding do. You understand it not just because of intellectual understanding and then doing or not doing. You do it because you live it. And that's a key word for learning the Torah.
Sorry, what was the word?
What was that? Oh, live what you study.
Live.
When we get to about what is Torah, the study of the Torah, we will say that there's a big difference between the study of the Torah and any other profession. Right? Let's say you're a math teacher. What do you do, by the way?
Nothing.
Let's say you're a math teacher. And versus someone who teaches Torah. Right? So if you're a math teacher,